Kiwi passion and pride, but we can play a little bit too, and we're a smart team because we've played against good teams. So I think all of those factors played into it.
What about this crowd, mate? You're a proud Wellingtonian.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Best crowd I've seen in New Zealand by a long shot. It's unbelievable. I wish tonight would last forever.
Go enjoy the night. You're off to South Africa.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
And that is just wonderful for Simon Elliott. It could have been the end of a dream for him. He never would have got another chance to go to a World Cup. Now he has that chance in June next year to play at the World Cup finals, Chody. Unbelievable. I can't believe I'm saying the words.
Mate, for all of these players, a chance to play the World Cup finals, it's what every footballer dreams of. And for a tiny nation stuck down the bottom of the world, we don't get many rolls at it. We got a good roll at it tonight. And really, they did enough to get their nose in front. And then they just dragged themselves over the line in the end because Bahrain were chucking everything at them. It was a desperate performance in the second half. Some of the tackles that were going in were just fantastic. Look, you won't reflect on a flowing match of football, but this was about sport at its finest, a real battle, an arm wrestle. New Zealand had won it.
So many key moments, but as you say, the penalty save. I mean, it was astonishing the way the Bahraini players reacted when they won the penalty. It was like they'd won the game. They hadn't even put the ball in the back of the net. It wasn't a great penalty. Mark Paston really was one of the heroes of the first leg. He's undoubtedly the hero of the second.
Yeah, well, look, Pasty, he's got his chance, probably due to injury with, due to suspension with Glenn Moss. But you'd have to say, Pasty, you're a champion, absolute champion. As you say, the Bahrainis got ahead of themselves. They thought they'd got the goal they needed because they only needed one. Pasty said, no way, thou shalt not pass. That was Mark Paston. He let no goals in, and on the back of those no goals, Rory Fallon's goal has enabled this all-white side to do what so many haven't been able to do. We're off to the World Cup.
We're getting some wonderful text messages through. Great to have your comments through from wherever you might be listening. It is just absolutely unbelievable. The Rainbow Nation will host a Rainbow of Nations in 2010. This rainbow will be extra special because white has just been added to it. And that is dead right. It'll be a World Cup that has been without New Zealand since 1982. We all know that. We all know how long it's been. And we all know about, how people have talked about how it's an easy road. It's never an easy road to a World Cup finals. You ask any of those guys out there whether they had an easy time of it tonight, there is absolutely no way. It is just an astonishing game, this football. And you can see how the emotions can be completely swept away in it on a night like this.
Think about this, Piney. The side came together, Monday, first training session, Tuesday, really. They had a few training sessions together. They come together from all over the globe, different leagues, different standards of player. They've created a little unit that you can see is very, very tight. And they've done enough to get themselves off to a World Cup. Incredible stuff. As people leave today, this stadium, they've witnessed sport at its best, New Zealand sport at its best, a battling performance that's seen them take the prize.
I'm going to try and get up alongside the hero of the hour, Mark Paston. This is the stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah, it's a bit of a blur at the moment, so it might take a few days or a few weeks to actually sort of come a reality.
Up 1-0 at half-time, the side looked quite comfortable. Then the penalty. The defining moment of the game, walk us through it.
Yeah, it was, we always knew they were going to come out, and unfortunately we gave away a penalty, which wasn't the greatest, but luckily I saved, I suppose.
It's still a blur. It seemed you came out, tried to make yourself a little bit big, get in the mind of Adnan. Was that what you were thinking?
Yeah, we practiced a few during the week, and I've always said that it's different in a sort of pressure situation like this. So I always back myself, and I guess right, I suppose.
Mark, be honest. Do you actually remember the moment?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but there's so many other things happen in the game as well. The boys are incredible in front of me, diving, last-ditch tackles. So it's I couldn't do it. Obviously, we wouldn't have won the game unless we dug in, and the boys are fucking amazing.
Go enjoy the night, mate. It's going to be a big one.
That's Mark Paston, yeah, like we say, an absolute hero, and well, they all are, aren't they? They all are. So I guess we now look ahead.
I've got Ricky Herbert. Well, what can you say of your team tonight, Ricky?
I've been saying it for 4 years, Dan. This team's been coming together, mate. It's hard on the sleeve stuff, and it's pretty flowery, but Jesus Christ, I truly believed it. I thought we were a good shot tonight, and bloody hell, that one shot for glory was enough.
My God, I can feel your heart beating through the jacket, mate. Give us the ins and outs. Tactically, how did you go about it tonight? Because, mate, you've edged them all over the park.
Yeah, I mean, they come at us. We thought they'd do that, and we probably didn't start as well as what I thought we would, but we kind of settled down, I think, everything that's riding on it, but we got cracking, and we had a few chances, and sometimes you think, well, maybe it's not going to be your night, but great goal, and Pasty, we got that right, got him to go the right way, and picked the big fellas there, and he fantastic.
Yeah, you must be delighted with the Rory Fallon's effort. It seemed only moments before that golden opportunity, and you were probably pulling your hair out, but Gee, you three up front really did a good job tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Rory's dad, Kevin, before the game, and Christ, he was starting to get me to bloody cry, but that's one for his dad, that's one for his family, that's one for the country, and you know, we're just delighted he's come back, he's in the national fold now, and he's taken us to a World Cup, so not much more you can do, mate.
I asked you 7 days ago if you could describe getting to a World Cup as a player and a coach. You said you couldn't describe it then. Can you find the words now?
Oh, I don't know. I think in 24 hours I'll find something decent, but I'm not sure where I'll be in 24 hours, so might not be what you want to hear, but this is for the guys, mate. I tell you, I never really got to see this as a player because you're kind of on your own and teammates and stuff, but just to see that emotion at the end is, shit, this will never leave me.
What about this crowd tonight?
Hey, we asked for 3 things, mate. We asked for a crowd, asked for a decent pitch, and we asked for the weather. We got the whole bloody lot. We said we had to participate in that and make the 4th one. We've done it.
Go enjoy the night. It's going to be someone, isn't it?
Thanks, Dan. Certainly will be, mate.
That's Ricky Herbert, coach of the All Whites with Daniel McCarty. He'll now chart a path to South Africa. Can you believe it? When they draw the teams out for the 2010 World Cup in December of this year, New Zealand will be amongst them. They're with the big guns. They're there with the likes of your Englands and your Germanys
We
and
want
your
more
Italys.
pitch side, Jason Pye. We've got Tim Brown. He's draped in a New Zealand flag. You look a bit shell-shocked, mate.
Yeah, mate, I don't know. Don't even know what to say. Just something you wanted for so long, and then it happens. I don't know. Sort of a dream, really. You know what I mean?
You're throwing yourself around for 88 minutes. You've been subbed with a couple to go. When you heard that whistle,
I was pissed off. I got subbed off. I was so pissed off, and I was on a stretcher. And I was so annoyed. I was on a stretcher. Embarrassing, but we got there in the end, so that's all right.
Yeah, please describe that emotion when you heard the final whistle and you ran to your teammates.
I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It just don't know. I don't know.
I know it's an emotional moment, Tim. You can be hugely proud of yourself and your side. Go enjoy the night. It's going to be something special.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Oh, some wonderful reactions. I mean, I hope we don't have to apologise for some of the words you're hearing on your radio tonight, but you can understand the emotion that's coming out of these guys. It translates into some profanity occasionally, but I don't think anybody cares. And it just shows just how much this means to these guys. They don't have any words to use to describe just how big a moment this is for them.
Yeah, I think it was also the nature of the win for me. It was a desperate win. It was desperate football, and it was desperate football that won the day.
Captain Magnificent here with us, Ryan Nelson. What a night. Not a bad little night.
Oh, it was an incredible night. I think, I mean, even all the fans, everybody felt the tension, the pressure. It lived up to it. It lived up to what everyone expected, and I knew it was going to be one goal, one set piece, and it was an incredible finish, a great goal.
You must be delighted with how your players have handled that pressure of, once in a lifetime game, isn't it?
It's all about handling the pressure, not getting too excited and just playing the game and taking the chance when it comes.
And the commitment in that final corner, the players just charging in for everything.
Yeah, we needed that. We needed. I always thought that this game was going to get won by the New Zealand boys, the local lads, and it was. They Tim Brown, Mark Paston, Leo Burtis, Tony Lockett, Ben Singman, they were incredible tonight, and they really won out the game. Plus the Wellington crowd.
Ryan, I know you got unwavering faith in your players, but really, did you think Mark Paston had it in to make that save from the penalty spot?
Well, we had to take penalties, practice them, training, and I was taking one, and I looked at it, and all I could see was this big lump of a lad in goal. So, yeah, I knew he had it in him.
Where's this in your footballing career? Right at the top?
Yeah, this is way up there. Of course, it's way up there. I've never done so nice in front of New Zealand fans. So to be able to, I suppose, when the pressure's on and the New Zealand boys have delivered in front of a packed crowd, there's no better feeling.
You're off to South Africa. Enjoy.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
There you go, Ryan Nelson. They're all hanging around. It's just great to be able to get so close to these guys after the game. So often in situations like this, FIFA don't let you get close to the guys who really have put on the show for us, but it's great that we've spoken to just about every member of the starting 11, I think now, Jody.
Yeah, we have. We got through them all, and they've got around the grounds at least once. 1.5 laps of this ground, still not empty. Ricky Herbert, I see, still out there just sucking it all up, really. Good luck to him. It's a fantastic moment. You don't get many moments in your sporting career, or indeed in your life, that lift you to these kind of highs. And today and tonight in Wellington has been a very, very special night for New Zealand football, New Zealand sport, and the country in general, I suspect.
Absolutely. Well, we might as the crowd drift away, we might try and catch our breath a little bit, and well, I don't know whether there's really a lot we can say. All we can read is what's on the scoreboard at the northern end of Westpac Stadium and at the south as well. Congratulations, All Whites. 2010 FIFA World Cup South Africa. Here we come. It is an incredible night, an astonishing night. When they look back on November 14, 2009, they'll remember it like they remembered January 10, 1982, the day that the All Whites last qualified for the World Cup. The 82 side can now welcome some new members into an exclusive club, Chody.
Oh, absolutely, and that's exactly what they'd want. There was no joy in being the only side to ever make a World Cup. If there was joy in making it in 1982, there's joy tonight for the 2010 World Cup. Just a fantastic game, but for me it was just so desperate. It was just a real gutsy performance, and that's what you want from all your sporting sides. Stand up and fight. Well, this side stood up and fought, because that Bahrain side are not a bad side. They threw everything at them in the end. Desperate defending. I think about that Visilic one where he absolutely threw himself at the ball, and then Paston standing up to the penalty. Just fantastic stuff, Piney. We had it all, really. There was only one goal in it, but that's sort of appropriate.
We will leave you here now from Westpac Stadium. It's been a very emotional night for all of us, and will continue to be an emotional night here in Wellington City as the crowd head towards the CBD, where they will celebrate long, loud and hard into the night. The All Whites are heading to the FIFA World Cup in South Africa next year. They've beaten Bahrain 1-0. A 44th minute goal by Rory Fallon has sent them through. Mark Paston with a penalty save in the second half to keep the scoreline intact. And when the final whistle blew, it was to the relief, the elation, the absolute joy of everybody inside this stadium. For technical director Glenn Dwight, Peter Marriott on stats tonight. Marvellous work sidelined by Daniel McCarty and expert comments provided by David Choate. This is Jason Pine at Westpac Stadium, wishing you all a very good All Whites, and straight away it's Bahrain on attack, and they get a shot away early. The first stat of the game for Peter Marriott, our stats man, is a shot on goal from about 25 yards from Bahrain. It was a weak effort though, and Mark Paston gets a first touch and an easy one. Leo Bertos is over the ball. The big men are all forward. Here comes Bertos to deliver. It's a good ball into the area. He does exactly that. He hangs it up to the far post. Smelts it back across goal. It's headed towards goal. It's just over the bar.
First chance to the All Whites. You heard the crowd roar.
Here comes the ball. It is knocked down in the area. The shot comes in on goal. It hits the bar.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord, a better goal you wouldn't have seen. Who was that?
Chris Killen.
Chris Killen.
The ball just came down so agonising slowly as he turned on a dime and hit it just on the spin with his left foot. A rasping drive as it dipped in over the keeper but hit the bar.
Ball play forward now. Here's Bertos down by the right wing side. Can he get the ball away? He can. Here's Leo Bertos. He's in the area. A little cross is all that's required. The ball is in the area. It's headed towards goal. A fantastic save. A fantastic save by Jaffa. Kept his side in the game.
We should be calling goal. It was a fantastic piece of work by Leo Bertos. Put that down to some fantastic keeping. Well, can they land a knockout blow?
We're into the 44th minute, third corner of the night for the All Whites. Again taken by Bertos. He's been on set pieces all night. Here comes Bertos. Right-footed out swinger. Into the mixer. Up they go. Here it is! There it is! Get a ball in! I think it's over Visilic! Unbelievable! Thomas O'Brien! Is it over? Is it over? No, it's not over. Who is it? Well, we can't hear a thing, but I'm going to tell you, I think it's Rory Fallon who's found the back of the net. The ball came in from Bertos. Rory Fallon rose and headed the ball powerfully past the keeper. The referee puts his hand in the air and says, that'll do for the first half, gentlemen. And as they go to the break, Rory Fallon, the son of Kevin Fallon, who guided along with John Hedshead the All Whites of 1981 to the World Cup final in 1982, has put New Zealand into a priceless 1-0 lead here at Westpac Stadium. 5 minutes of football the All Whites have played for nearly 30 years is underway. The All Whites lead 1-0 at half-time.
Well, Paston's crucial, isn't he? If he can do the unthinkable,
he's making himself
New Zealand's night.
Crucial moment in this game. The penalty to Bahrain. Adnan to take. Approaches the ball, right-footed. Saved!
Unbelievable stuff! Unbelievable stuff! Is it out right, Piney? Is it going to be out right? I think it just might. Mark Paston, you champion!
A six-man wall. Here comes the Bahrain player. Strikes it towards goal. It's into the wall and it's up in the air. It's coming down on Mark Paston's line. He's dropped it. You're going to boot it in. They have booted it in. The flag's up.
Piney.
Unbelievable stuff. The ball's in the back of the net, but the referee's blown his whistle. What's he given?
A free kick against Mark Paston, because as it was struck, the ball flew into the air. I spun round not to watch, and I'm looking right at the monitor.
I turned away, and I've got my face in the monitor.
Two. Chris Wood has the ball. Just keep the ball. Forward to Smelts. Smelts a shot on goal.
He hasn't. Ball at the far post. I thought he'd slotted it.
There can only be seconds left. It's belted forward by the Bahrain players. It's into the area. Up they all go. It's headed towards goal. Peston saves.
Mark Peston, hold on to it. It's over.
The final whistle blows. It's full steam ahead, South Africa. 28 years on from Ricky Herbert's Spanish Odyssey. He's delivered the All Whites back to football's biggest stage as 35,000 sets of arms are thrust into the air.
5009. The lines are open. I am just going to sit back here and listen to the emotion, listen to the excitement of the voice of the people of this country. What an absolutely stunning occasion. I received a text earlier from Tony. I think he summed it up nicely. The Rainbow Nation will host a Rainbow of Nations in 2010. This rainbow will be extra special because white has just been added. 0800 82 55 77. Minutes after 10, have your say on this historic day. This will be one of those days in New Zealand sport where people will ask you where you were, what part of the country you were sitting in, what were you doing, what were your memories. The legacy of 1982 continues on in a new generation of players, a new group of kids, a new generation get to experience what we experienced back in 1981, 1982. Football is on a high, an incredible night led by a wonderful player in Ryan Nelson. How much emotion did he show? How much does this mean to the player? It was like we'd won the World Cup, and yet we're just simply going there now to compete as one of 32 nations. We are a rugby mad nation. 4 million people, and once again we achieve the impossible. John, good evening. Kick things off.
Yeah, g'day.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad, but yeah, I don't know how we'll do when we get to the World Cup.
It doesn't matter.
Kansas game.
Yeah, thanks for that one, John. Don't appreciate it, mate. You're a loser, John. Not going to have you ruin my night tonight. G'day, Dames. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I reckon that's the best game of sport I'm going to see this year, mate. It was brilliant. I enjoyed it, and it was great. And full credit to everybody. Full credit to everybody, the defenders and Peston and all the Brian Nelson, all the defenders. And I thought Bertos played very well, mate.
Oh, yeah, look, I think Leo Bertos, I think every player on that park can put their hand up. Lockhead, you can say, hey, maybe gave away a penalty, but that's the nature of sport. Paston, a hero tonight. I mean, all of them, just, you know, to deal with the occasion. They looked a little bit jittery in that first 10 minutes, but boy, you just sensed something special was on. I've never seen a crowd, never seen an atmosphere like it at a New Zealand sporting event.
Yeah, mate, and the fact everybody got their shirts off and stuff, it's great. And I think you just got to feel happy for everybody. I mean, the Wellington people and the New Zealand people, the soccer fans that have followed it for so long, and just Terry Serapisos for taking the game to Wellington, and a lot of those Phoenix players that are involved, the strong New Zealand influence, and just everything, mate. But one of the big things about it, I enjoyed David Choate and Jason Pine. I thought they got right into it, and the whole thing was great. There's not a negative thing about it. Like you said, everybody played really well, and they haven't got a thing to worry about. I think they'll compete, and good luck to them.
Hey, well said, Dames. Well said indeed. Look, I sat here very emotional. I'm as proud as the next Kiwi. Had the old goosebumps. I thought the radio commentary was wonderful. I thought the images on television were just fantastic. And boy, that white noise, wasn't that just unbelievable in that Westpac Stadium? Never seen anything like it. Never thought I would see New Zealand crowds acting like European crowds. Evening to you, Sean.
Mate, absolutely wonderful. I tell you what, I've just actually got back home from the pub. That's where I watched it. I was at the Cook's Bar in Martin.
And it would have gone off, I'm sure, my good man.
Mate, I just about was speechless. I yelled and yahooed for the first time in my life, probably after having a few too many tillies. But hey, I tell you what, you know, no, I'm not going to ruin it. It is just brilliant. We are at the World Cup. It is an absolute achievement. And I tell you what, even if you're a rugby or a cricket fan in this country, you should be absolutely holding your head high. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, if you're going to be a caller like John, Sean, who gets on here and automatically is negative about it, get over it. We're New Zealanders, mate. Look, we're proud of our rugby team. We're proud of our league team. And let's just stand up and be incredibly proud of this All Whites team. Let's not underestimate the achievement. I mean, the World Cup of football is the biggest sporting event on the planet. and that is why you see the emotion. I say this, I'm not sure you'd see that emotion if we run a Rugby World Cup, but look at that, and that's just to get ourselves to that tournament. One of 32 nations, quite remarkable. Evening to you, Karen.
How are you?
Good.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you feeling?
Oh, I think it was just magnificent. The crowd were on their feet. The commentators were getting excited, and we're there, and we could go to South Africa, and we could show how proud we are.
Hey, look, Karen, I'll read you the text one more time that Tony sent, and I love this text. The Rainbow Nation will host a Rainbow of Nations in 2010. This rainbow will be extra special because white has just been added. Hey, look, thanks for your call, Karen. Numbers 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, Tim.
G'day, mate. I've just left the game. It was the best thing I think I've ever done in my life. I've been to lots of cool sports things. This one tops them all. It was epic, and I was on my own, and I yelled my guts out, and I was hugging the guy next to me I've never met before, and that was awesome.
Yeah, hey, Tim, you weren't on your own, mate. You were there with 35,000 other brothers, mate.
It was a beautiful thing, mate. I had my shirt off, swinging above my head. Bring it on, South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there'll just be an absolute mass of Kiwis going over there. Whereabouts are you originally from? Are you from Wellington?
I'm from Wellington, and I'm proud to be from Wellington on a night like tonight, man. It's a beautiful thing.
You should be in town because this will be one of those great occasions in New Zealand sport that you've been a part of, and we'll only look back on it in time and realise how special it was. So get yourself down into Wellington and have a few more jars, my good man.
I'll never forget this, my friend. I will never forget this.
Hey, appreciate your call, Tim. 0800 82 55 77. Text us on 5009. Evening to you, Steve.
G'day, buddy. I can tell you now, I was just sitting at home. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to the game tonight. One of the Yellow Fever boys, but tears to the eyes, mate. Tears to the eyes.
Yeah, I sat in here, and I'm not that emotional, but, I did well up a little bit, got the old goosebumps, and just thought, man, here we go again, eh? Here we go as a sporting nation. Just doing what we shouldn't do, but we continue to do. This time it happens to be in football, and boy, just an incredible time to be in Wellington.
Yeah, no, well, I'll tell you now, it's tears to the eyes, I said. I got some friends of my daughters here tonight, and they just couldn't believe it. I was just bawling my eyes out, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and there's going to be plenty of talk about it. The radio highlights are fantastic. There'll be so much discussion. It's just going to dominate the airwaves. Look, mistakes were made post-1982 in terms of kicking on. They're not going to be made with Frank Van Hatten and his guys. Well done to Ricky Herbert. He got it dead right with the 3-4-3 formation. Chris Killen up front. Rory Fallon. What a footballer this guy is, eh? His old man, the gate Kevin Fallon. People love to bag Kevin Fallon, but boy, what a competitor, eh? And that son's has inherited those qualities, and well done to Winton Roofer, Kevin Fallon, and all those coaches around the country that develop this young talent that are starting to see New Zealanders find this pathway overseas and strengthening the international game here in New Zealand. It is 26 minutes after 10 here on Radio Sport. The number's 0800 82 55 77. Hi, Kirk.
G'day. I just had to ring you on this historic day. There were tears in my eyes. All my speech is just amazing, eh? Just incredible, eh?
Oh, it is. We as a nation have come together tonight, and we put all our little petty differences aside, and we're just incredibly proud once again, for what we've achieved on the sporting field, and let's celebrate it. Let's talk ourselves up, and let's pat ourselves on the back for the next week, next 2 weeks, next month, as long as we want to endure it.
Well, I was going to say two things. When you consider how many countries that play the game of soccer, and they're one of 32. And the other thing I was going to say is, if there's a case about getting behind your team, that certainly does. You've got to get behind them, don't you?
Yeah, and I think that the guys that are in charge of Yellow Fever down there that came up with White Noise deserve a massive, massive pat on the back, because they are the original fans. They're the ones I think the commentators alluded to 2 years ago, maybe playing Vanuatu with just 3,000 people in the very early stages of qualifying. So those guys are the true fans and did a great job at showing New Zealanders what it means to be a fan.
That's awesome, mate. I was really stoked to talk to you on this historic day, Mark.
Hey, no, appreciate it. Great call, Kirk. You enjoy your night, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks. 0800 82 55 77. Text us on 5009. Evening to you, Bill.
How are you going, Mark?
Good, thank you.
On behalf of all rugby league people, we're absolutely outstanding, that performance, and the Wellington crowd, actually stupendous.
Hey, great call, Bill. Great call, because I know...
I sat here with my old white bowl shirt on, and my grandson put another one on, and we were dressed accordingly.
Yeah, look, and I know how passionate you are about your rugby league, and it's great for a guy like you who's seen so much incredible sport in your lifetime to, celebrate in this historic night tonight.
It was wonderful.
Thanks, Bill. Enjoy the rest of your night. 0800 82 55 77. Text us on 5009. Evening to you, Lil.
Oh, good evening, Mark. Hang on. I just threw my hanky away. Just finished having a cry.
Yeah, hey, and you're entitled to tonight too, Lil. You're allowed to sob and bawl your eyes out and have a big sort of Cheshire cat type smile on your face, and no one should think any differently of you. I think
You know what? I thought, I was hoping the guy that was announcing the game, he was saying, "Oh, you take over. I'm running out of breath," and he was so excited too. And then when I heard Mark, did his good deed at the end, that young fella. Oh, he was awesome, but mind you, they all good, eh?
Oh, the wonderful Lil. We've got a new group of national heroes. We've got a new group of people who can act as role models for younger kids, who can inspire a next generation of footballers. They've shown that, look, you don't necessarily need to go to the big flash fancy schools. You don't need to live in certain parts of the world to fulfill a dream. It still just comes down to a bit of belief, a good old thing called hard work, and a bit of passion. And that is the ingredients that all of those players had on that park tonight. Hey, thanks for your call, Lil. 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, Kevin.
G'day, mate. Look, I don't have the luxury of Sky. And first of all, I just want to say what a wonderful job Radio Sport did with commentary. It was absolutely stunning. I loved listening to the radio tonight, and I was blown away by the result. And one other thing, I mean, everyone's going to have their player of the day, but Ryan Nelson, have that man.
Yeah, look, I think, the captaincy in terms of calming the nerves, the little subtle things he did at the events in terms of organising this, making sure that side maintained its shape. Yeah, you can't underestimate that, Some things that Ryan Nelson does they're the peripheral things. They're not always visible to the sort of the spectator. They're not necessarily the glamour things, but just that experience he brings, just that belief that he puts in those other guys.
Yeah, and one last thing. I was 13 when I remember the All Whites against China. And but for some reason tonight has eclipsed that for me. It really has. It did, just the emotion, just the sound of the white noise in the cake tin. You would have thought it was in the middle of bloody Europe, for goodness sakes.
I've never seen anything like it in this country. I've never seen a crowd and an atmosphere like that. I mean, even in 81, 82, we had the crowds were a little bit subdued. Tonight was just incredible.
It was, jeez. Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, mate.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Kevin. Hey, and appreciate you getting on and sharing some of that emotion, mate. Wonderful. And that just charges people, doesn't it? Aren't we going to wake up tomorrow and just be a happy, sparkling, smiling nation? The cafes are going to be full. It doesn't matter. It's a beautiful day in New Zealand. It's going to be a sunny day. I'm back on in the morning. Let's forget the weather forecast. Let's just go. It's a beautiful day in New Zealand right across the country. 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, Trevor.
Hey, Mark. How are you, mate?
Good, my good man.
Good, I'm glad I didn't get on first because I was still balling after the game, mate. Unbelievably proud to be a Kiwi, mate, and I felt more, and I'm a big Leaf fan, I felt more pride tonight than I did than when the Kiwis beat Australia in that Rugby World Cup last year. And I just think it's just amazing to think that, little budget New Zealand against big budget Bahrain beat them, and we're going to the World Cup, and probably if you combine all the income of our soccer players, it won't even equal the income of one of the players and one of the other teams. And it just shows you how we can box above our weight, mate, and you don't need heaps of money to do it. And in fact, it enforces always what you say, mate. It's not the money, it's the heart that gets you there.
Oh, absolutely, Trevor. Beautifully said, my good man. Look, it is, we do. I was a little teary-eyed tonight, the goosebumps, the emotion of it. You're just sort of sitting there. And I tell you what it makes me do. It makes me think of my dad and people that have passed away. I go back to those young men and my grandfather and stuff. He fought in those World War I and World War II and fought for this wonderful country. And I put all the negative crap aside, all the little social things we worry about. And for me, it's the Bahutakawa beach trees on the beach, the sunscreen, all those little idiosyncrasies that make New Zealand, and it gets summed up when you have those things like tonight. You do become incredibly proud of being called a New Zealander, and we are a very, very special bunch, and you feel privileged when you travel to Europe, don't you? You feel like you've just got a point of difference on everybody else, and tonight that's just reinforced by, once again, a great sporting moment here in this country. We've had some wonderful ones over the years with the America's Cup, a Rugby World Cup in 87, the All Whites in 81, 82, our rowing crews over the years, our Olympic Games success, and this one tonight is right up there. Fantastic. And I am so pleased for the generation of young kids at the moment who got to experience that tonight, who are going to get to experience the week coming and the months coming, and then experience the hype and the build-up around that World Cup next year. 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, Luca.
Hey, g'day there, mate. How do you feel?
Oh, mate, incredibly proud to be a Kiwi tonight, mate. You know, it's a privilege to be on air. It's a privilege to have people getting on and sharing that emotion.
Oh, look, I can hardly speak. My heart, I feel like I've had about 20 coffees. I kept my boy up. He's 6 years old to watch it, and he is looking at me. He plays it a little bit, but he could see that Dad was excited. He was getting excited too. But the thing that really, really, really gets me excited is building up from this. I mean, our boys did well in Nigeria, and with whatever we do in the World Cup next year, the fact that we're there, this is actually going to we can build up from that.
Oh, we can. Well, we're going to get a massive cash injection, which is going to allow for us to continue developing facilities and coaches going forward.
Yeah, and we'll have all these boys coming up that'll think, oh, this is actually a first-rate option to follow this as a sport.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think you'll see secondary schools adopting sort of the model that maybe a Mount Abbott Grammar and Kevin Fallon have in place, the winners that Winton Rufer runs. All of these are absolutely crucial in terms of developing that middle stage of development, creating these pathways. And now they hear the stories of 82, but they were never there. They can't really experience it. I hear the stories of the 1956 Springbok tour, but I'm sure you had to be there to really appreciate it. Now we've got these kids who have seen it, who are going to experience the motion, and now have an opportunity to one day be heroes themselves, and that is fantastic for any sport.
Exactly right. And one other quick thing too. Good on Winton Rufer too. He looked like an idiot, a nutcase all week, talking the boys up.
Oh no! Look, I had him on the show this morning, and the guy was just so emotional, so passionate. I said, "He got any worries about the formation?" He goes, "Mark, you could have your wives out there, you could have your girlfriends. We're going to win tonight," and it was just so fresh. There was none of the gobbledygoo that you get from these other sports teams. It was just all about emotion, all about passion, and I think he was more nervous and more excited than some of the players playing. Possibly more excited and more nervous than when he played himself. It is 25 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Thanks for your call, Luca. Tony, good evening.
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, it's Tony here.
Yeah.
I thought I'd give you a ring tonight instead of texting you. Did you enjoy me text at the end of the game?
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. I thought that text summed it up, and I've read it out a couple of times. Brilliant.
Mark, a couple of things. I just want to give a tribute to Radio Sport, because when, the TV weren't really interested before the first league, were they? Radio Sport, Miles Davis, he went over there with his mates, sent us back some great letters from Bahrain. And I shunned the TV tonight, and I listened to it on the radio.
Yeah.
Before tonight, sorry, I'm a bit emotional as well, even though I'm an ex-Pom. My biggest football memory was sitting in a pub full of Chelsea supporters in Battersea in 1989, and excuse me for saying this, when we won the championship at Liverpool. I've got a new memory tonight, and that's pacing up and down the last 15 minutes, final whistle blows, I walked out on my deck and I just shouted out yes at the top of my voice and heard it echo across the Waikato countryside. Yeah. That's my new number one football memory.
Yeah. Hey, look, and you're phoning from Hamilton, are you, Tony?
I'm in the Waikato. I'm in the countryside.
Yeah. I mean, what we are for the first time. I think, we don't understand the real joy of football that the rest of the world get out of it. We don't maybe necessarily understand, but we understand it tonight. We understand the importance of it. We understand the occasion. We understand why this game is as popular as it is.
Well, I've been telling... sorry.
No, go on.
I've been telling everyone who wants to listen, my neighbours and everything, I said, and I don't mean it to put them down or anything like that, but I've just been telling them, you really don't, you haven't got a clue what this is all about. And I'll tell you what, I haven't got a clue now because it's bigger than what I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought it was big.
I mean, look at tonight. We're only just qualified for the tournament. We haven't won anything. We've just qualified for the tournament. I guess we've won qualification, but look at the scenes of delirium in the terraces. Look at the way the people reacted tonight. You'd think we were about to hoist the World Cup. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And only the World Cup can do that.
Yeah. Well, we say we've only qualified, but there's about 170 other countries who ain't, mate.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, you always put things in perspective. Well said. Great call, mate. Appreciate your text.
Yes, mate.
Thank you. It is 22 minutes away from 11 o'clock here on Radio Sport. The number's 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, Craig.
Yeah, g'day. Look, all I really want to say is, just thanks, Radio Sport. You guys did a marvellous job, and what I will remember from this night is actually more than the goal and the saved goal, is just the post-match commentary. You guys, the listening to the emotion that came through from the players after the match was incredible.
Yeah, and I just hope none of the PC freaks in this country have any issue about the language that was used. Forget it, man. That's sport, that's people, that's emotion, and this is the 21st century, and that's just reality.
Look, they were fantastic, and just listening to it was a sheer delight. Just that passion and what they'd done. I'm just so proud of the guys. They are fantastic.
Where do you live, Craig?
In Whangarei.
Oh, nice, mate. Hey, great to have it right across the country. Fantastic. You got kids?
No, I haven't. But look, I tell you what, just thanks to you guys, because I couldn't see it on TV, just listening to it on the radio. You guys just, it was amazing.
Yeah, look, and I'll pass that on too to Jason Pye and David Choate and Daniel McCarty too for the wonderful job that they did do.
They were wonderful. Yeah. And look, just thank you for that post-match. I tell you what, if the rugby guys delivered half of what these soccer fellas did, we would never ever lose a match of rugby in our lives.
Hey, look, appreciate your call tonight, Craig.
Cheers, mate.
0800 82 55 77. Steve, good evening.
How you going, Mark?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Oh, good. Steve speaking. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm a staunch rugby league person.
Yep.
And I was supposed to have gone down to the game this week, but my father was taken to hospital on Thursday, so I didn't.
Oh, that's no good. I hope he's okay.
He is at the moment, but I took my 78-year-old mother round to someone else's place to watch the game tonight, and I tell you what, I thought she was going to have a heart attack. Unbelievable. I tell you what, I just can't, words fail me. And I've never witnessed on TV, I wasn't at the ground, the atmosphere, what was coming over there. I tell you what, I've been to two rugby league. I went to the Warriors in their first one with the Brisbane in 1995, and I went to the World Cup one last year. And I tell you what, that wouldn't have been tuppence on that. All I can say, Mark, thank you for the lovely memories that you as Radio Sport and what that ground at the Cake Tin gave us tonight. And all I can say, that sport, give them the champion team for New Zealand sport next year, and come on, South Africa. Well done, and may we have some more memories. Thank you kindly.
Hey, thanks, Steve. I think you summed up what a lot of people are feeling. How do you describe this? I mean, wow, we're speechless. I don't know how to describe it. All I can say is that it just all I do is just take a moment to reflect on how lucky we are to live here. I take a moment on the nights like this to reflect and look back on how lucky my childhood was and the things that I've achieved and things that I've ended up doing, and how just incredibly proud I am to be called a New Zealander. And someone's just summed it up, hone who, and that's I think sums it up. Forget all that myopic crap, and let's just start celebrating the fact that we live in the land of milk and honey, and for 4 million people, the tiny island nation of New Zealand continues to box above its weight on the international sporting scene. Absolutely fantastic. Ian, good evening. Hi, Ian.
Hello.
How are you?
Not bad. I've just watched the game this evening.
And your thoughts and impressions, Ian?
It was quite tense.
Yep.
To be honest, I thought Bahrain would have sneaked it. And when they got that penalty, I thought that was it, game over. But that must be the worst penalty I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know.
That's even worse than a Berbatov penalty in the Carling Cup.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, that's That's what pressure does, That's what the big occasion. And for the player that took that penalty for Bahrain, he's probably going to need bodyguards when he gets home.
Let's hope he doesn't go the same way as the Colombian guy.
Yeah, I know, and that's just terrible if that does happen, because no one should be made to be blamed for the rest of their life for missing a penalty, because, there is a chance you're going to, and that's sport.
But anyway, that's great news for New Zealand. It's brilliant. It really is brilliant. It's great for the kids. It's better for the kids than it is for... Realistically, I don't think New Zealand will get a point in the World Cup when they get drawn against whoever, especially if they get the mighty England. But it's great just to get there. The anticipation, the build-up for the World Cup tournament, the first game coming up, it'll be brilliant. It'll be better than the Confederations Cup. I remember watching the Italy versus New Zealand game where New Zealand took the lead 3 times but lost 4-3, but it was a great game. It's just great for New Zealand, it really is.
Yeah, it is, and I just hope that we don't draw England, because I love England. They're obviously my second team now behind New Zealand. Look, I think we can take a point away in this World Cup. I think you can do anything in football. It just proves it. It's not like rugby. Teams that are underdogs can end up upsetting. We see it happen with Manchester United, the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea every week. Why not New Zealand? The more belief, the more time they get together. You've got to understand, this is going to be a pretty big campaign for this all-white side. They are going to spend a lot of time together. They're not just going to have players flying in 2 days, 3 days prior to a match. It's going to be, it'll just be an incredible time between now and then for this all-white side. And they will get wonderful publicity, and they deserve every scrap they do get. 16 minutes away from 11 o'clock here on Radio Sport. The number's 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, Stella.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. I'm speaking on behalf of the many soccer widows who were left behind and couldn't see the game. But I just would like to say, that's what Kiwis can do in their spare time.
Yeah.
Amateur players, that's what we can do. And there's been a groundswell of support. It can only go forward from here.
But there's a message in it too, how much money do you need, how much over-resourcing and all this other stuff we see with professional sport. You don't. You just need the dream, and you just need a thing called heart, and you need a thing called belief, and a thing called passion. You put that together.
You saw it on the field.
And this country can do anything.
Absolutely. And I can't help but draw parallels, early rugby days, amateur players. That's what Kiwis can do when we get our heart in behind it.
And that's what we need to do when we go to the World Cup, is not try and change to be anything else. We need to retain that inherent quality that makes us New Zealanders and take that with us. Yes, certainly grab some things from Europe and South America and these sort of regions of the world that can offer a lot in terms of football knowledge, but let's not forget the inherent quality that makes us Kiwis, and make sure that is at the forefront when this team takes the field in South Africa.
And I think we're learning how to be fans again.
Oh, mate, we've never known how to be fans. Tonight was a wonderful example of what we should have, and wouldn't it be great if we could get that to All Black games and cricket match? I mean, it's probably always been in cricket. There might probably be more alcohol fueled at cricket games over the years, but it just shows that, hey, we can get out of our shell, and we can put a smile on our face, and we can be proud New Zealanders, and no one's going to put us down for doing it.
Absolutely. We filled that stadium tonight. We supported them, and they pulled it off for us.
Hey, thanks for your call, Stella. Appreciate it. It is 14 minutes away from 11 o'clock. 0800 82 55 77. Mark Watson with you through to midnight. Boy, the light's just going absolutely nuts here. Matt, good evening.
G'day, how you going?
Good, thank you.
It was a fantastic night. I was there at the game.
Yep.
And it has to be said that I've been to many a rugby game there, and there is nothing like the passion that was shown tonight for a game of football, which is a minority sport in this country. I'm a football referee, I'm a rugby fan, but I stand proud to be a member of the football community tonight.
Yeah.
It was just astounding.
Yeah, and that's one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities tonight. But just when you were talking there, I suddenly got another little rush of the old goosebumps up through my old jeans there, and I'm ashamed I wasn't down there in the stadium. But is that not the best thing you've seen in sport?
Oh, it has to be. I'll remember that for a lifetime. No doubt about it. It was just... we were there, 15 minutes after full time, and the stadium still got 25,000 people in it, and it's just pumping, and the crowd was going wild. It really was. It was a fantastic place to be.
Hey, fantastic. You enjoy the rest of your night, and I do appreciate your call.
No worries.
Thanks, Matt. 0800 82 55 77. Let's go to Mac. Hi, Mac.
Hi there.
How are you?
Oh, man, I'm so pumped. It's just unbelievable. I've just left the game and just on my way back home, and it was history in the making. I just absolutely loved it. I'm so happy I went.
Yeah, and you wake up in the morning smiling, and you won't have any sort of negativity towards anybody else, any other little problems in your life. Hey, we put them aside for a little while, and we just celebrate this, don't we? I mean, you know...
Yeah, nothing else matters, and it's unbelievable. I've been in football my whole life. I coach it, I referee it, I play it myself. And one of the big things for me, I was only one when the All Whites made it last time. So for me to be able to see it and make history, see history is just unbelievable. To be at the game, so much credit's got to go to White Noise, because without them, the crowd was just behind everything, and it was just so loud, and it was the best atmosphere you could possibly imagine for the All White team.
Yeah.
And it pumped them up so much.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job, and they were the same group that were there for Vanuatu 2 years ago. The commentators were referring to that when only 3,000 people turned up. I think they were handing out song sheets on the concourse there at Wellington Stadium, so people could learn the chants and get along. Winton Roofer before the game, getting everybody pumped up, trying to encourage people to do the Mexican wave, and you just sensed something special was on the card, and an incredible night. Having just a wee few technical issues there. Hey, look, do appreciate your call, Pat. 0800 82 55 77. You can text us on 5009. Just read a couple of texts that have come in. I have a heap of these texts coming in. I can't even keep up with them, to be perfectly honest. Come on, Mark, share the love. No, number 16 for Bahrain must be looking for a hole to crawl into. Hi, Mark. I'm in awe with my football team, mate. Mate from Clint from Cal Copper. Thank you. Imagine if we get in England's group at the World Cup, the TV ratings will go through the roof. Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't, because I do want to see England do well. And look, the reality is they're going to go probably further than we are. But yeah, it certainly would make for the TV ratings to absolutely be the biggest thing probably ever seen in New Zealand, I think, maybe since the This Is Your Life with George Napier. Nash, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Hello, Mark. This is Nash originally from the UK in West Brom. Watched the game. It was fantastic. Well done to New Zealand. Just wanted to say that. Wonderful game.
Yeah, whereabouts in the UK you're from, and what sort of football games have you been to in the past, Pat?
I'm a Birmingham supporter, but originally from West Brom. I noticed there was a West Brom player there.
Yeah, young Chris Wood, just 17 or 18 years of age.
Yeah, he's going to do well in the future, yeah. Fantastic watching the game. I'm really pleased for New Zealand, really am.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm pleased that you can celebrate this. Obviously, New Zealand's where you live, and it's I can't out of words to explain what I'm feeling.
Well done. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
0800 82 55 77. Text us on 5009. Hi, Wayne. How are you?
I'm really good, Mark. I was there at the game tonight.
Were you? You lucky man.
And not only that, I was there in 81 at Mount Smart Stadium watching us play Kuwait. Difference this time is I took my brother along, I took my nephew along, and I took my 14-year-old daughter along.
And were you dressed in white?
My daughter did the white thing. I didn't have anything white to wear that was going to keep me warm, and keeping warm was a bit of a priority tonight.
Hey,
so,
look, just...
The White Noise boys had their shirts off with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, Wayne, just how cold was it in the stadium?
It wasn't too cold, but it was the wind on top of, just not, being a sort of all that warm a night. The wind would get you pretty cold after a while. It wasn't too bad, but I'm sure the Bahrainis would have felt it a bit.
Yeah, now what was the demeanour of the Bahrainian players when that full-time whistle went? We didn't see too much on TV. Obviously, the cameras focused on the New Zealand boys. Did they leave the ground pretty quickly? Were they sort of spread out on the park? Were they in tears? What was their demeanour like?
To be honest, I spent about 2 seconds looking at them and spent all the rest of the time looking at our guys. We were down the end where they were defending when the final whistle went, and so, all our eyes were on what our fellas were doing.
Hey, great answer. Great answer, my good man.
I'll tell you one thing, Mark, and that is when they got that penalty against us, straight away my mind went back to us playing Kuwait. And, of course, we lost that game 2-1 back in 1981 when the first penalty was awarded. And, of course, Richard Wilson actually saved it. And then there was a second penalty, and that's when the joke around the can at the refs.
And I've been watching the highlights this week, just doing some research for various radio shows. And, that was an absolute joke, and he deserved the can.
We've had so many disappointments, with or even some with the Phoenix, with them losing games right at the very last moment, and of course with the Kings and the Knights, and it's just that sickening air of inevitability when they got that penalty, and to see it actually get saved was pretty amazing. The other thing that was a factor down there, which I don't know how clear that came across on TV, was the wind played a very big part in that game. We had, how the wind swirls around in the stadium, although it was a northerly and we were playing into the north, it seemed like the wind was behind us in the first half, and that's why all those long balls were going through. The keeper was getting a lot of ground with his kicks, and we were just able to play an aerial game with a lot of long balls, and it worked really well. But they were doing the same thing to us in the second half, and the thought of hanging on like that for 45 minutes, I thought it was a pretty amazing effort.
Yeah, it looked almost like Wayne in the first half of the second half, if that makes sense, that we looked a little bit defensive, that look, we were going to go back into our shell, and then we just seemed to relax once again. We got that midfield working just a little bit better, and we started playing a little bit more attacking football, and we certainly had a lot more opportunities than Bahrain. We definitely deserved to win the game. Bahrain putting a lot of guys up front towards the end, and Smelts could have very easily made it 2-0. In fact, we could have been 3-0 up with some of the opportunities we had. Hey, look, thanks for your call, Wayne, and well done on getting along, mate. And I hope that memory sticks with you for the rest of your life as one of your great sporting moments, because this will be one of those moments in time where people will look back in 20 and 30 years and go, where were you when the 2009 All Whites qualified for the South African World Cup? 0800 82 55 77. Scott, good evening.
Good evening, Mark. I'd just like to make two, maybe 3 points about the soccer. Mate, back down here in Nelson, in the South Island, it's just been awesome, because usually all the talk's about rugby and stuff with all us guys, but I haven't heard a sniff of it the last few days. It's just been like, it'd be awesome if the All Whites can qualify and stuff like that.
Hey, Scott, you might not know this, mate, but the All Blacks are playing Italy tonight. You wouldn't know, though, would you?
To be honest, I've actually completely forgot about it, no jokes.
Yeah, look, and I'm pretty sure, I know the All Blacks boys back in Italy will be incredibly proud, because that's what sportsmen do, like to see their fellow countrymen do well. Look, and you know what it might do, and I'm sure you might not even care, but I hope the NZRU looks at this, realises possibly the threat rugby's under now, and teams like the Tasman and the Marcos, hey, start putting a bit of money in them and start allowing people in these regions to enjoy both products.
We've had awesome crowd. I've been to some of the games this year at the Marcos, and I'm pretty sure the crowds have doubled compared to last year. So yeah. And but what, this passion tonight. I think there was one bit where Bahrain had a free shot and goal, and 3 guys just threw their bodies on the line, and that's not flipping soccer. That's just pure heart and passion, and that's awesome.
Yeah, look, it's almost like with the theatrics. Once they do the little dive and stuff, they've got to see it through. Yeah. And you can see they don't really want to, but they've got to continue with the act. I mean, honestly, that's where it does disappoint me a little bit with football. I mean, that's where league boys and rugby boys will just have a little bit of a laugh with some of the antics. And it is one area of the game that they seem to be clamping down on, and, need to be starting to dish out a few more yellow cards for all that crap.
I totally agree. And just one thing, you might not care, but tomorrow I've got to study for English tomorrow and all that, and when I'm starting to get bored, I'm just going to think, All Whites into the World Cup. It'll probably get me through another hour or something.
I'll tell you what I'll get you to do, Scott, is I played the highlights just after 10 o'clock tonight, around about 10:15. Go into Radio Sport website, go into audio archives and just play that 4 or 5 times, mate, and you've got We Are the Champions behind it, 4 minutes of highlights, and it'll pump you up, my good man.
Sweet, will do.
And remind you that maybe when you study in life's not so tough, eh?
Yeah, true.
Hey, thanks, Scott.
Later.
Yeah, 0800 82 55 77. Evening to you, George.
Yeah, I think the whole of New Zealand was up and waiting for this to happen, because I know the passion that goes into this game. Myself, as a young lad playing soccer when there was no soccer around those days, and we got recognised by the passion we put into the game. We just grabbed some boys and said, come on, we're going to play. And we got recognised that way. So I rode all over Auckland to games and played games everywhere. So I understand it. And boy, all the best for this team, because Ricky and these boys have really put it in. And they deserve every second they get.
Yeah, who'd you play for in Auckland?
I played for Mount Wellington.
Oh,
when John Houghton was playing.
Yeah, one of the great clubs. Absolutely, great era.
Great club, great people.
Yep.
And if you put your heart and soul into something, that's the name of this. That's what happens.
once you can get that belief and that you can see it, then it is.
Yeah, you got to believe in it.
I think John Adstead summed it up quite nicely during the week. You've got to sit down there individually in that changing room and say to yourself, I want this more than the guy in the next changing room.
Yes.
That's individually, and then bring it together collectively.
Hey, when you can come from the background of those boys and the backing they had, you've got to take your hats off.
Yeah.
And what sporting, whatever you like in sport, I mean, that was my game, and boy, I was that excited. I was leaping up and down in here.
And
the wife was.
Oh, look, I wasn't here too. We were just sort of sitting down going, please, nothing happened in the 89th minute, nothing happened in the 90th. And I actually disappeared once off to the bathroom in the studio here so I could kill another minute and a half.
But if you've been in the game yourself, you've got the feeling for it and the passion for it.
Yeah.
And boy, that really made my day. And I'll take my hat off to them any day. They'll match what's up against them.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll go to this World Cup, and I think they'll be competitive. And it's a really good opportunity for young players like Chris Wood. While they've got contracts and stuff with West Bromwich, this is a really good opportunity for these guys to put themselves on the international stage and increase their market value. And that is when you do start. You use sport, you perform, and everything else comes.
Yeah, and the Witten Roofer and such like boys that came out of New Zealand and did what they did and achieved what they did. I mean, that's what our boys are going to be looking at, and we're going to go ahead. I'll take my hat off them.
Yeah, hey, look, thanks for your call.
Okay.
Enjoy your night. Yeah, wonderful emotion out there. This is just brilliant. Loving it. I simply just words can't describe what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing from the public. This hopefully will just be blasted across the newspapers tomorrow. Talkback will go nuts. I will be incredibly disappointed if one single Talkback host comes out tomorrow on this station or any other radio sports station around the country and puts the All Blacks ahead of this. Even if they lose to the Italians, okay? I will be devastated, okay? To me, they should be sacked. They should be put on... they should be taken away to the island that Napoleon ended up being sort of exiled to. I'm sure that won't happen. News, sport and weather up next here on radio.
Talk ZB News Centre, Radio Sport News.
Keep up with News Talk ZB.